Alrighty, welcome back everybody. So if you're thinking you already seen this video, you haven't. There's like 142 people that seen it. I deleted the last two ones. I talked to another game morning and I'm gonna break it all the way on down. We got a storm coming in, so I shut the garage door down. But yeah, so kick off by saying Minnesota is a 5-deer state. Out of the 5 deer, you can only shoot 1 buck. Now in the state of Minnesota, like if you look up into northern Minnesota, there's a lot of 1 deer areas. Either they're going to be bucks only, they're going to be lottery, or they're going to be either sex. So you have your 3 main tags. You have an archery, a rifle, and a muzzleloader. Just because you use your main tag, like say on a doe, that does not mean you're out on a buck. You buy back in, you get another main tag, you can still shoot a buck. So now I'm gonna start breaking this all down. So the 1 deer areas. So like for me, for instance, I'm gonna go up to area 110. I've waited 3 years to draw for a doe. More than likely this year I'm gonna draw for a doe. I haven't found out yet, but I'm pretty much anticipating that I'm gonna get drawn for a doe area 110. I cannot jump to any other 1 deer areas. I then have to move on to either a 2 or a 3 or 5 deer areas. On page 70, it states that on the right-hand side. It doesn't do a very good job. That's why I'm going over this. I'm going to break this all on down. So there's a lot of people involved on this. It's confusing. My last video, I thought I did a good job. And like I said, once again, if you're not sure, look it up for yourself, page 70. Call your local game warden, and they'll explain it to you. Hopefully right, because it is confusing. So, like I was saying, you have to move on. Even though you shot that doe in 110, you're going to get another rifle main tag or a muzzleloader main tag, whatever. If you shoot in a 1 deer area, you're done in 1 deer areas. Even if you move on to a different one, you're done. You're done in bucks only, you're done in lottery, you're done in either sex areas or all 1 deer, you're done. So now that we know that, now let's go down to central Minnesota. So I hunt quite a bit of 240, 239, and a little bit of 241. So Minnesota's a 5-deer state. So I shoot my 1 doe. I come back down to Ottertail County. So I'm allowed the 5. So if I jump over to 239, let's say muzzleloader, and I shoot 2 more deer in that 2 deer area, I'm done in all 2 deer areas. All 2. Even if I shoot 1 deer in a 2 deer area and another deer in a different 2 deer area, that's combined because I'm hunting 2 deer areas. That's combining the 2. I have to move on to a 3 deer area. And it works the same in the 3 deer area. So like 240 is a 3 deer area. So if I go to 240 and I shoot 3 deer, I'm done in all 3 deer areas. And what makes it, this is where you guys get into trouble, and this is where it makes it tricky. So say I shot 2 deer in 240 and I jump over to 214, which is another 3 deer area, and I shoot another 2 deer, I'm now illegal. Because I went over the 3 deer. I shot 2 and 2, so that's 4. So now I am actually illegal. It's no different than if you shoot 2 deer in a 2 deer area and 2 deer in another 2 deer area, you're illegal. So that's how that works. You gotta combine them. So say I shot 2 deer in 240, jump over to another 3 deer, and I shot in 214 1 deer, I'm maxed out in 3 deer areas. I am now You have to combine wherever you're at, what you're doing. It's really tricky. You gotta watch what you're doing. You gotta watch where you're at, and make sure you're not going over the limit. I could go to 239. If I shot in 110, that counts. But I could go to 239. It's a 2-deer area from hunting up north. I could shoot 1 deer there, so then I'm at 2. I could jump over to 240, shoot 3 deer. That puts me at 5. For my 5 deer, I'm out. I'm done for the year. I got my 5 deer, and I legally got it. Okay? I'm hoping that's making sense to you guys. And like I said, you're buying back in. So say if I want to go archery, and I went to 240, and I didn't want to hunt up north. Say next year I don't want to hunt up north. I go to next year archery. I go to 240. I shoot my 3 does in 240. Boom, boom, boom. Put them into the freezer. Rifle comes along. I have to move on to 2 deer areas. I maxed out in a 3 deer area. I have to go to rifle, buy back in, 239, 2 deer area. Say I'm out, a doe comes through. Shoot the doe with the rifle. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna hold off. Muzzleloader comes. I wanna hunt 239 again, so I only shot 1 deer out of there. Muzzleloader comes, and there's a buck that comes through. I have not yet shot a buck, but I do have a muzzleloader main tag. I can legally still shoot a buck. So, your main tags are good for either sex. Can be used for either sex. Depending on, 1, it depends on where you're at. And 2, so it can be used for either sex. Depends on where you're at in the lottery, where you're at in Minnesota. And of course, if you've already shot your buck, it's a 1 buck stake, so you can't shoot multiple bucks. But if all you shot was does with your main tag and you have another main tag, yeah, you can still shoot your buck. So I hope this video, I did a better job. And like I said before, I tried my best, and I think I totally kiboshed it. And I felt bad, and the reason I feel bad, it's not because I did bring up some incorrect points. It's not because of that. I felt bad because I don't want to mislead anybody into doing the wrong thing. I don't want to do the wrong thing on hunting because I like to hunt and I want to keep my hunting privileges. So, yeah, that's the best that I can explain it. 1 deer is 1 deer. Once you kill a deer, in a 1 deer, you got to move out. 2 deer area. Even if you shoot 1-on-1, you got to combine it, and then you're at 2 deer total for that. And then you got to move on to a 3 deer, and it's no different than a 3 deer. If you shot 2 and then a 1, that's a combined 3. You're both are 3 deer. Let's say go to 213, 215. You shot 2 and 1. They're both 3 deer. You combined it. You have to move on to a 2 deer then, in order to try to achieve your 5. So it is confusing, and I hope that helps somebody out there. And I know I'm talking to a very small group of people. There's not a lot of guys that do what I do, and I love it. I love going to different areas, seeing new areas, seeing different terrain. I really do enjoy it. I do. I understand majority of deer hunters, they go up to deer camp, they probably hunt the rifle season, with their friends and family, drinking beers and whatnot for maybe a weekend or 2. Maybe they take the week off and they sit up at deer camp and they hunt the one stand, or maybe they have 2 stands in one little area, and that's their deer hunting, which is totally fine. Totally fine. And then you have this small group of people that are doing what I do, that bounce around a lot. Because there is, down here in, well, even northern Minnesota, there's a lot of public land. A lot. But you cannot bounce around. Because if you look up there, majority of it is one deer areas. So unfortunately, they cannot bounce around. You know, once they shoot their one deer, they're done. They'd have to drive. They'd have to do a lot of driving, quite a bit of driving. I mean, if there's a guy, let's just say he's over up in here, that light blinded me. 118. I mean, 118. I mean, this guy's got to drive a long ways to get over into here in order to keep killing deer. So down here in Central, it's just different. You know, we got more different croplands. We got better feed for the deer, and we don't have near the timber wolf population as they do up there. So it's a combo between the predators and the food up in northern Minnesota is why a lot of that is a one deer area. So, but I'm not gonna go down the timber wolf topic. That's a whole, that's a whole new can of worms. So, but yeah, I hope that helps out somebody. And unfortunately, you know, this isn't me out doing a cool video of shooting something, or this is just straight me trying to educate other guys that do what I do. And I know there's 142 people that watched the first one, but I wanted to make it right. I wanted to, after talking to the game warden, she reached out, she did her research. I wanted to make it easier to understand. So, but yeah, if you guys can, please like, share, and subscribe, and good luck hunting. We just got into archery season, and I'll catch you later.